Welcome to Ayr Racecourse for the biggest day in the jump racing calendar in Scotland. It's Coral Scottish Grand National Day and it promises to be an absolute cracker. We've got 23 scheduled to go to post for the £200,000 Classic, 6 across the water for Willie Mullins' yard as he targets the Trainers' Championship. But it's more than just the Scottish Grand National on the day. We've got the £100,000 Scottish Champion Hurdle, that promises to be a cracker. 6 other fantastic races on the card. The Trainers' Battle, as we say, goes on between Willie Mullins and Dan Skelton. We've got Nicky Henderson here, we've got Paul Nicholls here, whose horses are absolutely flying. The place is going to be sold out and it's going to be spectacular. Race 1 on Scottish Grand National Saturday is at 1:10. It's a Scotty brand handicap chase where the fight between Willie Mullins and Dan Skelton gets underway in the Trainers' title. It's the first of 17 runners for Willie Mullins, Western Diego. Handicap debut off a mark of 134. Danny Mullins up on board, and the previous run at Punchestown would suggest he's progressing nicely and looks to be a huge danger off that mark. Skelton sends Etalon first run after a wind up back down. Coming back down in the weights, and Asta La Plasta's in there as well. The market, of course, will be closely topped by Tommy's Oscar, who's back and must be respected after last year. And a fascinating runner for Lucinda Russell is Trap Rain Law, second at this meeting last year off 138. He was running off 134 at Christmas, and he has slid back down the weights to a mark of 135. That's got to be dangerous. Lucinda Russell always does well at this meeting, and Trap Lane Raw has to be worth a look. Home Public's best form is at 2 miles. He's dangerous, but given that Mullins has come here for a reason, and the mark of 134 looks tasty for Western Diego to get punters off to a flyer. Race 2 on Saturday's card is the Champion Novices Chase over 3 miles, and a fascinating home contender in the shape of Whistle Stop Tour. Lucinda Russell's charge was massively fancied for the Ultima at the Cheltenham Festival. Things just couldn't have gone any worse for him there. Balked early in the race, it just didn't pan out at all, and he finished down the field as stablemate Miretown romped to success. Whistle Stop Tour could have gone to the Scottish Grand National, but the decision has been taken to come here to this novice race, and that has to be a pointer. Masaccio for Alan King will probably lead the market, and understandably so. He's run really well at the big meetings this season. The question you would have to ask if you were a Masaccio backer is, has he done most of his work for the season already? Loch Glynn is the Willie Mullins representative, a handicap mark of 143. He's got some good form in the book so far, and he's dangerous. If the dead 8 stand their ground, there'll be some people looking for a price, trying to get something maybe at double figure odds. Ideal de Board would be interesting for Nicky Henderson and Nico de Boinville. He's had 2 wins this season. He's just been for a wind up. The last time he had a wind up was last spring. He came back from that and won on his reappearance. So Ideal de Board could be interesting. There's been quotes around of 12-14 to 1 for him, and as an each way angle he might be the play. The win bet, it looks like Whistle Stop Tour. Race 3 on the card in Scottish Grand National Saturday is the Champion Hurdle at 2:15. It's a £100,000 contest, and understandably Willie Mullins has targeted it as he goes for the UK Trainers title. He sends 4: Ethical Diamond, Bunting, Batman Girac and Carafon. Naturally, Ethical Diamond is the one that has attracted most of the support. He's been pretty impressive this season, and it was an excellent run at the Cheltenham Festival. He didn't win, but he performed superbly. The weight of 11 stone 12 might be an off-putter for some, and that's understandable. Valgrand for the Skelton started the season really well. He won at Cheltenham. Things didn't go his way at the Cheltenham Festival. Nicky Henderson is represented by Under Control. He could be dangerous at a huge price. Dysart Enos is formed from the Greatwood Hurdle earlier in the season. Cracking Rhapsody, he won the Moor Battle at Kelso. He's also in good form, but the vote may narrowly go to Cabrel du Matin. Paul Nicholls has been superb at this time of the season. He was terrific at Aintree last week. He's really freshened his horses up for this time of the year. He targets this meeting. He's run a couple of cracking races this season. He's dodged Cheltenham, he's dodged Aintree to come here. This looks like it's been the plan for the season. Mullins, you would have to be fearful. Cargizi was in the field, the county hurdle winner. Could have come here, would have had a massive chance. The fact that Mullins thinks it's okay to leave that one on the bench and go with the team he's got would make you fear for his team, but this narrow vote goes to Cabrel du Matin for the brilliant Nicholls. Race 4 on the card is at 2:55. It's the Mayor's Handicap over 3 miles. Willie Mullins, again represented here, armed and fabulous. He looks like an interesting contender that looks as though he's been set up for this race, but there are plenty of others in there with chances. Tom Lacey's usually quite good in these races. The Lord Maid would be dangerous. Rockala Vogue, 6 runs, not out of the places this season. It's really strong form, it's consistent, which tells you that you're going to get a run for your money if you have an each way bet. Near the top of the market, La Vida Adiva, Ruth Jefferson's horse won at Kelso over 3 miles last time. That was a good effort. Brian Hughes in the plate, delivered late, ran away for the field, no problem. Ottazini's been in behind that one in the past, so has Foxy's Fancy. But interestingly, Ruby Island beat the Jefferson horse at Ayr the last time they met. That was over a slightly shorter distance, but it looked like the step up and trip wouldn't be a problem for Ruby Island, and he would be the selection. Race 5, 3:35, the big one, the £200,000 Coral Scottish Grand National, and what a fascinating event we have ready for us today for the sellout crowd. Willie Mullins, well, he won the race last year with Macdermott. He's back. He's one of 6 in the field for the Closutton Maestro. Although Macdermott's the defending champion, the chosen one is chosen witness in terms of the betting. He tops the market, but to be honest, any one of the Mullins contenders is worth a look. Captain Cody has Harry Cobden booked. Clark Kent ran well last year. Olympic Man has Patrick Mullins. Of course, we know what happened last week with Nick Rocket. And Spanish Harlem, 6th in the race last year. It just didn't go to plan. For whatever reason, he just didn't get into a jumping rhythm. But interestingly, Paul Townend picked Spanish Harlem for this race last year out of the Mullins charges. So that would tell you off a lighter weight this year. He's £5 lower this year. Spanish Harlem could be an each way bet. Listen, there's so many options. Hastings was going really well in the National Hunt Chase at Cheltenham before coming down. Rock My Way was second in that race, and he's the type to go well if he gets into a rhythm up front. Dan Skelton in this trainer's title fight, he's got 2 in the race, both at big prices, Snipe and Sail Away. Sail Away was a good winner at this meeting 2 years ago, charged away from the front, won really well. The form hasn't been there since, but you wouldn't bet against Skelton finding a way to get him back on track. Surrey Quest was only beaten by a nose last year. Toby Laws' Charles McDermott just pipped him on the post. It was so close, it was agonising for the team. There is every reason to suspect that Surrey Quest will go well again. Listen, you can make a case for just about everything in the field, but given the state of the trainer's title, given the way that Mullins dominated Aintree last week, you would have to think that he holds the cards. The pick of his each way would probably be Spanish Harlem. First time cheek pieces, if he can get his jumping together early, he could give you a big run for your money. Race 6 on the card is a handicap hurdle, and this one looks as though it's going to be a straight fight between Paul Nicholls and Willie Mullins. Nicholls has Quebecois, the Max McNeil owned horse, and Histrionic, while Mullins has Jump Alain and Set a Chance. The Mullins charges both have strong claims, but it looks to be just narrowly in the favour of the Nicholls pair. Histrionic was a good winner at Chepstow from Newton Tornado, who has won since. And the jockey bookings would suggest that Quebecois is really the one. Harry Cobden, the stable number 1, has chosen to partner the McNeil horse. However, while that's a pointer, the form would just tip you in the direction of Histrionic, so he would be the selection to get the victory in the handicap hurdle. The penultimate race on Grand National Saturday takes place at 4:45. It's the Novices handicap hurdle, and this one would really be all about chart topper for Willie Mullins. He had a couple of engagements, he could have gone a couple of races on the card. This has been the chosen one, and the second to Jet de Vegas at Kelso reads even better. Now listen, chart topper was fancied that day. It was disappointing that he didn't get the job done, but Jet de Vegas was impressive, and that form has been franked last week at Aintree because Jet de Vegas ran an absolute cracker behind Salvatore Monday. Beaten a long way, but it was still a really, really good effort. The Jukebox Kid's interesting, but given the form that we've seen so far, chart topper looks like he can chalk another one up for the Willie Mullins bandwagon. 5:20 is the final race of the day. It's the traditional bumper which signs it off, and Willie Mullins obviously is represented. Dysart Dolomite represents the Closutton Maestro, and it'll be fascinating to see how he goes first time out. Nicky Henderson always used to run a really, really good one in this race. Some of his real stars have progressed from this bumper race, and he sends Sutherland, Scottish owned by Ronnie Bartlett. He would have a chance, but the selection would have to be Gillespie, an easy winner at Foss Lass for Paul Nicholls. His horses are running really well at the moment. Really impressive in that only start, and he gets the nod with Harry Cobden on board.